I have 15 minutes on the clock, so let's get it. There's no fun fact today, there's nothing. This video is basically to just announce that I will not be having a proper video this week, and just give a little life update. And because I don't have like a community tab, I can't just post a little announcement, so I figured I would actually just post a video while I'm getting ready, kill two birds with one stone, give a little like update on what's going on, etc, etc. I am going to insert a picture somewhere here of everything that's going on my face. I'll put it in the description box below. Blah 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 blah, because I am on a time crunch of life right now. So there's not going to be a proper video uploaded this week, in large part because my March was really crazy. I dropped the ball in about a million different arenas. Y'all will find out more about it in my March check-in, which will be my next video. And one of the arenas in which I dropped the ball is there was a paper that I didn't turn in, even on the very last day, which I was allowed to submit it before I would get an absolute 0, because that is how badly my health deteriorated in the month of March. I was really lucky with this channel that I had pre-recorded a whole bunch of videos. Like that anti-haul, she's old. Either way, I was like really going through it in March. I failed to turn in this paper. I was about to get a 0. I was like, oh no, blah blah blah, whatever. Then the events of the night on which I recorded my March check-in happened, which is to say that on the night of March 31st, I turned on my camera, and not even my camera, I used my phone actually, and I basically just ended up kind of like talking a whole bunch because I was trying to work out my life, and I was like, you know what, we're just going to figure it out, because it turns out I'm like a verbal processor. I like thinking out loud, and then by the end of it, I kind of like come down to something. So I was just reflecting on film basically about my month of March and kind of like how it went and what was going on, and it ended up becoming like this behemoth of just 2 hours of me having like 50 million life epiphanies, and I got really emotional. I like cried, blah blah blah, whatever. I filmed that, and then I went to sleep, and I woke up the next day just like with resolve on what I needed to do to get my life back in order. So this entire first week of April, I've just been doing all of that. I talked to my professor and I was like, you know, I was really going through like a health crisis in March, and I know I dropped the ball, but like, would you be willing to accept my paper for some kind of a mark and not just give me a flat 0? And he agreed. He said he would, and he's given me, today is Friday, April 5th. He's given me till Monday, April 8th to get that paper done. And so now any thoughts I had of editing that like a behemoth of a March video are gone, right? Like there's no way I can get that 2-hour video into something coherent while also trying to write a paper. And more to the point, I shouldn't be trying to do that. Like, school should be my #1 priority right now. This paper should be my #1 priority. Oh shoot, I put that all over my chin. That was not it. Instead, y'all are getting this video instead, which is me getting ready to actually sit down and write the paper. Like, I freshly showered. Oh my god, I did not wet my sponge. What a ditz. And I'm just getting ready. I gave myself a deadline by which I would start working, and I'm just getting ready before that, putting on some makeup, feeling ready, because it will make me feel so much more productive. I get like fully snapped into work mode by doing this. And so I figured I would just, while I'm getting ready, talk really quickly without trying to explain anything of what I'm doing on my actual face, and instead just give you guys like a quick life explanation. And this is about to be the least heavily edited video I've ever done in my life. I didn't put an intro in it, as you can tell. I didn't put an outro. This is like extemporary speech right now. And the way I'm gonna edit this is I'm going to work off of what's called a 50-10 schedule, which is that I'm going to do 50 minutes of work and then give myself a 10-minute break. And I'm gonna do that for 3 hours in a row before giving myself a 30-minute break. And during those like 10-minute breaks, I'm obviously going to like do all of the things like get up, use the bathroom, make myself a cup of tea, blah blah blah, whatever. But I am also going to use that time, those like short 10-minute bursts, to edit this video. So this is going to be very minimally edited. I'm just going to cut out the moments where I'm like completely silent because I'm too busy focusing on actually getting ready, and then upload this. Some of you might be like, girl, why are you even wasting time putting on makeup, blah blah blah, whatever. But I've referenced this before, and I just really want to say here that like, if you work from home or you're like a student or whatever and you're finding it's really difficult for you to get productive because you're like sitting in your bed in your pajamas or whatever, like maybe try to switch it up. For me, I find like if I'm dressed really badly and I'm still in my bed on my laptop trying to work, like I'm not productive. Like I physically need to get myself up, out, like feel sort of professional, you know? Like I really do feel like I don't know if I'm expressing this correctly because I'm also trying to make sure I don't get like brow gel all over my face. But for me especially, because I've had issues with depression for a hot moment, a long time. Depression is my dearest acquaintance and has been for what, like 6 years now, on and off. I know that when I'm depressed, I just like completely cease to take care of myself, right? Like I end up just suddenly, this is gonna be so disgusting, I end up like not showering for days on end. I end up just like not putting on any makeup. I end up wearing the same clothes over and over again. I'm schlepping around in the same pants and shirt for like 4 days in a row and just hoping nobody notices. If I'm just sitting in my pajamas in bed, I associate that really strongly with like when I'm depressed, because that's oftentimes what I'm doing, and it's really hard to break that association to then suddenly become like productive. So for me, like the act of physically, especially because like just this itself, like me getting up out of bed, showering, getting dressed is like already it's such a significant departure from when I'm depressed. I'm so unable to do it that if I'm able to force myself to do this, in my mind I'm already like, look how different things are from when they were 40 minutes ago. You know, it's like 40 minutes ago you were like hopeless and sitting in bed and blah 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 and whatnot, and look at you now. You're clean, you smell nice, you're wearing nice clothes, you're acting like you actually have cheekbones and you're putting some like bronzer on them. Your life is much more put together than it was 20 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, definitely like when you were crying yourself to sleep like 1 week ago. You know, people talk a lot about how like makeup is like armor. I don't know if I necessarily love that like military analogy, but there is something very like centralizing, not centralizing, that's not the right word, grounding, I think, about doing makeup. And the fact that makeup is itself transformative, I think is really, really useful when you're like soups depressed, because you want transformation. You want, when you're depressed, to feel like things are going to change. And the ability to physically change yourself, to be able to put on different clothes, put on makeup, and like look in the mirror and be like, oh, damn, like I don't look like depressed, sad version of myself. I look like person who sort of maybe is a little bit put together. That's incredibly powerful, I think. Or at least I find it psychologically is just powerful enough. Like, I mean, you're not gonna cure your depression by wearing makeup, please. I'm not a Dumbo. If that were the case, my depression would have been cured like years and years ago. But sometimes it's like, it's the little nudge that can get you functional or productive or whatever for like a little bit of time. I also do want to take a moment here to say that in this past week I have been getting, I'm not here trying to tell you that like, oh, these like cute little tips or whatever are suddenly gonna like fix my depression. In the past week, a lot of the work that I have been doing is like going to the doctor, getting myself together, like going on appropriate medications, trying to find like a therapist. Like, I'm doing a lot of the hard work that actually needs to get done to make sure that I am better, and I do not have a month like the month of March again. So I do just want to make that soups clear. But the general gist is like, I have been given the opportunity to redeem myself in this class and to prove myself and to actually, you know, I've done so much work for this essay already, and so to be given the opportunity to actually wrap it up and finish it, to be given the opportunity to not be written off, to have this second chance, like, it's so much. And so I can't squander it by then trying to like spend a lot of time and energy and whatnot putting out a high quality video right now, because as much as I love doing this, this is a hobby. And that school, it's not my life's work, as Hannah Louise Poston would say, but it is the thing that will allow me to do my life's work. And so it has to take priority. I hope that all of you are able to understand that. And part of the reason why I'm making this video instead of just like, you know, like I said, I don't have a community tab because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. And I didn't just want to like pin a comment in my most recent video because the fact has been, I wanted to update people because somehow I have over 300 subscribers now. And that to me seems so surreal. Like when I had 29 subscribers, that felt surreal because I knew that some of those people were like people I actually knew, but I also knew some of them were like total strangers who didn't personally know me. Like they weren't people in my personal life who were actually watching my videos. And the fact that even like one person cared enough to do that, I was already like, wow, this is so incredible. The fact that there are 300 of you now, the fact that like Hannah Louise Poston, a person who I idolized for such a long time, is like subscribed to my channel and leaving comments, like this, like the fact that Georgia Harris herself saw the makeup collection tag that I made, like that feels unreal to me. Like I haven't been logged on to YouTube for a while because like I said, I've spent this whole last week trying to like get my life together, but I've been seeing I have like email notifications on, and so every time somebody with public subscription subscribes to my channel or leaves a comment, I get a notification of it. And I have this like huge and overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, guilt that I'm like not being responsive to the comments and stuff right now. But I can't. Like I really have to, until at least Monday, April 8th, like buckle down and get this paper under control, right? I cannot squander the second opportunity, and I wanted to make this video to just sort of let you know, like, I see all of you and I hear all of you, and your comments, like, comments mean so much to me. Like I went off on a tangent about this in my 2-hour ramble of a March check-in, and I'm gonna make sure I include that clip in there because I think I probably said it much more eloquently at that point in time than I am right now. But like, it's so important to me to be able to read and respond to every single comment. Like, it truly is. And I want to let everybody know that I'm not like ignoring you. I'm not paying you dust. I'm not like, your comments don't matter, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like really, really drowning right now. And it's temporary. And it's just gonna be till this Monday, April 8th. And after that point in time, I actually am going to set aside like a good chunk to go through every single video and make sure I read and heart and respond to every single comment. So I will get to you, I promise. And it's like, it's a social platform, and the fact that people are all interacting with me and with each other and leaving comments and responses to other people, like that's incredible. Like I'm just like, wow, what a time to be alive. And not in a sarcastic way. That's that point handle. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Right, okay, so I'm going to submit this paper on Monday. Monday night, I'm probably going to go through all of the comments and figure out what's going on. And then I'm gonna spend some time on probably Tuesday and Wednesday trying to marshal that beast of a March check-in into an actual video. And that March check-in, even though it'll be like a week and a half late, I'm planning on posting it in sometime during the midweek. And then my March hits, misses, and goodbye kisses, my faves, hate-its, and empties, I'm gonna post this upcoming Saturday. I'm gonna post that check-in in the middle of the week instead of waiting till next Saturday, because although, you know, like I've only committed to one video per week, I feel like posting a March check-in in the middle of April, that's a bit much. I already feel weird about posting my March faves and empties and all that kind of stuff that late. So I'm just gonna do it as a bonus video this upcoming week, and then... Did I curl my eyelashes? No, I didn't. F it. So yeah, like look for those videos in the upcoming week, and then everything should resume at a normal pace after that. What else is there? I suppose one of the other reasons why I kind of want to post this is because I did respond to and see some of the comments that were made over the weekend, and I noticed some people saying that they had also struggled with depression and low moods and ADHD, which if you have ADHD and depression, here's the fun fact of the day. Depression affects, I think, something like 6 to 8% of people annually, and if you have ADHD, you are 2.7 times more likely than the average person to have depression. So depression and ADHD often show up, they have what's called comorbidity. They show up together. You can have both at the same time. Because I have seen comments of people saying they relate to the fact that they have ADD or depression or that kind of stuff, a part of me I think also wants to post this video to just kind of be like, it's gonna be okay. You know, like, it really is gonna be okay. And to show people that, like, sometimes, like, life gets really hard and really difficult and really, really overwhelming, and you drop the ball in, like, a million different places and a million different arenas, much like I did in March, and I'll go into more of that in my March check-in. But instead of, like, running away and hiding from all of my problems, which is what I would normally do, like, I spent this past week really kind of, like, deciding, like, we're gonna deal with this head on. We're gonna reach out to people. I'm done isolating myself. I'm gonna make sure I'm getting all of the help and support that I need. The worst thing that could possibly happen is I ask somebody for help, and what do? They say no, and then I end up exactly where I was before, right? And the funny thing is, like, I've reached out to a bunch of people and not one of them has said no. And I thought I was still gonna get a 0 on that paper. I thought that prof was gonna be like, no, you had your shot, you wasted it, blah, blah, blah. And, like, none of that happened. Like, I got a second chance. People reached out. My doctor, who I was so weirdly terrified of going to because I thought I was just being, like, a dumb failure and that, like, everything should have been going well because of the ADHD meds I was on. Like, why was I still having problems? Like, she was so nice. Like, of course she helped me out, right? Like, it's like more people want to help you out than you think. Like, depression is a liar. Depression lies to you and tells you, like, you're socially isolated, that no one cares about you, that your life doesn't matter, that, like, you're gonna ask people for things and they're always gonna say no because you're, like, an insignificant nobody who's, like, a worthless piece of garbage. And I'm here to tell you that depression is a stone cold liar of a bitch. Like, she just is, right? Like, she lies to you. Why is she a she? Oh my God. What is my deal with personifying things that should not be personified? Anyway, she's lying to you. People will help you. People are much more cruel than we can possibly imagine. That's true. But people are also infinitely kinder and more understanding than we can possibly imagine. And, like, accepting that what is happening, accepting that your mood is where it is, accepting that you have dropped the ball in certain aspects of your life, taking responsibility for it, and then reaching out to figure out what to do next, who can help you, what's going on. It is difficult and hard work. A family-friendly channel, after I just called depression a bitch of a liar, but it is worth it, right? I have worked so hard and made myself so uncomfortable and reached out to so many people and just been so real with them about how difficult things have been. And it has yielded more for me in these past 4 days of, like, hard emotional labor than the entire month of March. And so I'm here, I kind of also wanted to make this video to just be like, if you're going through it right now and you think, like, no one cares and there's no one to reach out to and you're feeling like it's going to be okay, it's going to get better, and reach out to people. If you, like, I know this is easy for me to say because I'm in Canada and we have free healthcare, so for me to go to my doctor didn't pose, like, a financial burden on me, but, like, if you can, like, go see your doctor for stuff. Like, reach out to, if your parents are supportive, your parents, to your friends, to your coworker who you've been ghosting for a really long time, to your professor that you, like, dropped out of contact with because you were so ashamed that you hadn't submitted a paper yet. Like, do whatever it is you can to get some other people to support you in getting better, right? Because I'm here to tell you, like, I'm standing here, right now, about to put red lipstick on my lips to tell you that, like, it will get better. I promise you, it gets better. And it requires a lot of work and energy that I know that when you're depressed, it feels like you just don't have that, right? Like, you just feel like I just have no energy at all to possibly feel better or to do the work of trying to get better. But here's the reality of things. You are already expending so much mental energy beating yourself up when you are depressed. That takes energy out of you to tell yourself all of those horrible things, to say that life is worthless, to say that things are never going to work out well. All of that catastrophizing, all of that like numbness, like that's not the result of you not doing anything. That's the result of your brain working really, really hard. It's emotionally very exhausting. That's why you go numb. And it is also emotionally very exhausting to then have to try and do the work of getting better, but at least that output, that emotional output that you put into trying to get better will yield something that beating yourself up never will, right? I expended so much time, so much energy being exhausted and so cruel to myself all throughout the month of March because my depression was just like, she was here. And it took so much out of me that I didn't think I possibly had the energy to get better. But once I decided to try even just a little bit, like, and I reached out, suddenly people were supporting me. They were making sure they had my back. They were telling me what was the next thing I needed to do, offering to call people for me. Like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, people have got me and I have got me. And although the work I was doing was so exhausting, and it has been, the last 5 days have been so exhausting to have to go out and reach and talk to everybody, like the results of it have, like I said, been so much better. Anyway, now that I've said that, I'm gonna put on this red lipstick called Victory Red by Besame Cosmetics. And I'm picking this one in particular because it's color matched to the red lipstick shade that women who were enrolled in the US military, or like they helped out with the US military, wore in 1941. And the way I see it is if these ladies during a time of extreme misogyny wore this shade of red lipstick to beat the Nazis, I can definitely conquer the hell out of this paper and my depression. So there we go. I'm just gonna put on my earrings. I'm all ready now, and I'm gonna make myself a tea and start studying. As you are watching this, if it is before April 8th, I will be writing my paper. These earrings, by the way, were a gift from my aunt and uncle from Kenya. They're very beautiful. I hope this has been an okay video. I feel like it was all over the place. I'm sorry for that, but actually no, I am not sorry for that because I did what I had to do. Okay, so summary. I will start responding to comments after I have submitted my paper on Monday, April 8th. I'll upload my March check-in during the middle of this upcoming work week. And then this upcoming Saturday, I'll do my March faves, regrets, and empties. And then business as usual. I'm off to write my paper now and edit whatever this is very minimally during my 10-minute study breaks. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have a great upcoming week. And even if that week ends up becoming messy and imperfect, I hope that you're still able to create and experience some truly beautiful moments. Bye!